Hi everyone, I'm Natalia and I'm saying hello from the U.S. Consulate in Merida, Mexico. With us today, my colleague Miguel, and we have a special guest, Clarissa from the Federal Voting Assistance Program.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Clarissa.
Thank you for having me.
Great, we have some questions for you.
Okay.
Clarissa, thank you for coming. And tell us, what is the Federal Voting Assistance Program and what exactly do you all do?
Right, so the Federal Voting Assistance Program works to ensure that uniformed service members, their eligible family members, and overseas citizens are aware of their right to vote and have the tools and resources they need in order to successfully do so from anywhere in the world. And we are the only federal government agency that provides nonpartisan information about voting absentee.
So Clarissa, one of the comments that we most hear from citizens that live overseas are it's difficult to register to vote. How does a U.S. citizen register to vote overseas?
Right, so a U.S. overseas citizen can use the federal postcard application to register to vote and request a ballot. And given this time in the election year, it's still early to request a ballot to participate in the primary elections coming up. And once someone registers to vote and requests a ballot in 2020, then that citizen will receive a ballot also for the presidential election in November. And just in case, if that ballot that is requested does not arrive, then that U.S. citizen can also use the federal write-in absentee ballot, which is called the FWAB, and that's a backup ballot. So a citizen can also fill that one out and send it to the election office to be counted. And the same thing for the FPCA and the FWAB. U.S. citizens need to send those both directly to their election offices.
Now, Clarissa, another common scenario we deal with is our U.S. citizens that have never lived in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
How can they register and request an absentee ballot? Will they need a U.S. address to do so?
Right. So never resided citizens can take advantage of some voting laws in 38 states that have these protections in place for never resided citizens. So they can use a parent's address, a legal guardian's address in some states, and even a family member's U.S. address as their own when they are trying to register and request a ballot in order to vote.
Good.
Great. Can U.S. citizens come vote at the embassy in Mexico City or any of our consulates?
Well, U.S. embassies and consulates are not polling places, but officers at these embassies and consulates can provide voting assistance with filling out the FPCA, for example, or answering voting-related questions. And at embassies and consulates, U.S. citizens can also take advantage of the diplomatic pouch. That means that a U.S. citizen who wants to mail back his or her FPCA or ballot, they can put the correct postage or download and print our postage-paid envelopes on ff.gov, and they can use the diplomatic pouch to send their voting materials back to the United States.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Por último, cambiando un poquito a español, para nuestros ciudadanos estadounidenses que no hablan inglés, ¿ellos pueden votar y cómo le pueden hacer?
Sí, claro, para aquellos estadounidenses que prefieren usar formas o encontrar información en español, también en fvap.gov tenemos información en español para responder a esas preguntas. Y si son estadounidenses, tienen el derecho a votar. Nomás necesitan llenar el formulario que se llama la solicitud federal postal. Y esta solicitud se utiliza para registrarse y para pedir una boleta. Entonces, cuando alguien llena este formulario y lo envía a su oficina de elecciones en Estados Unidos, esa oficina de elecciones le enviará su boleta por correo electrónico, por correo o por fax. Y el estadounidense puede votar esa boleta y regresarla a su oficina de elecciones en Estados Unidos.
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
Sí, claro.
Clarissa, thanks so much for all this great information. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you.